All right, we're here at the Dodge Caliber. We've got some issues with the suspension, with the intake. We got a lot of work to do, a lot of parts to change. So we're gonna start with the suspension. All right, get the vehicle up, put a jack stand underneath it, and take the wheel off. All right, now that we got the wheel off, it's a good time to inspect your brakes. You're gonna wanna remove those 213, actually, you only need to remove one of them. One of them's part of the bracket assembly, but look at the back of it, and it's this one here. You're gonna remove the upper one. That'll let the whole assembly come off, but both of them do come out, so either way you do it will be fine. You're gonna need a 15 for the sway bar end link. We're gonna be changing that. Those are 21s, and up top here will be a 15 as well. So we're gonna start with getting the brake line and the ABS line out of the way. We're gonna loosen up the sway bar and swing that off of the shock, and then loosen everything else up. All right, we removed the sway bar end link from this hole here, and the sway bar itself, that's a 15 millimeter. Loosen the three 15 millimeter bolts that hold the strut assembly to the car. And this 21, it's in there really tight. So leave the nuts on there, scribe a mark to where your shock sits, and take a hammer and beat them out. If you see, you got a collar shoulder there. That has to be beat out because they're press fit to hold the shock in. Once you do that, the spindle assembly and hub will rotate forward. Take the remainder of the 3 bolts off up top, and this thing will slide right out. All right, we got the old shock off. And there's a look at how it looks down there. And the reason we're replacing the entire assembly and why we think it's good to replace the entire assembly is the one on the right is the OEM original spring shock strut. It's got 225,000 miles on it. And if you look, it's starting to dry rot in there. The cylinder's blown. So the spring is probably taking a hit on that, and it started to sag a little bit, and it definitely looks like it is sagging. But if we count the ring landings of the springs, 1, 2, 3, they line right up. These will sit a little higher for a couple weeks, but that is with all new shocks and springs, and they'll sit down. As you can see, everything's nice and sealed up versus this blown boot. But 225,000 miles, you can't complain. This is where it helps to have a hand. We're gonna slide it back up. You're gonna put those 3 studs up into the strut tower, and just have somebody finger tighten those bolts down, and then you want to go ahead and just put all the things back together, finger tight only. All right, we got the shock in there and the sway bar end link. Now what you're going to want to do is load the suspension. So you're going to want to put a jack stand up underneath the controller arm or on the hub of the rotor like this, and lower the jack, put some weight on it so everything compresses, and then you're going to want to tighten everything down to factory specs. All right, we tightened those 3 bolts down to spec. Tighten the 221s, and then you see there we kept our witness mark. We scribed the line, and you want to kind of get the strut back to that area. We put back on, it was the lower bolt actually, that was the one to take it off, the brake and ABS line. The sway bar end link is on, and we greased them. All this can be done with hand tools. Just make sure you really get these bolts on there. If you're in doubt, put a little bit of blue Loctite on there, but they have to be on there really tight. Throw the wheel back on and take your first spin and make sure your alignment's all right. Hope this helps. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.